So welcome back to Frontend Hero, and welcome back to this series of creating this corporate synergy theme from scratch. So in the last video, we created this mobile responsive navigation menu, just like this, with these inner kind of toggle areas here where we can expand the drop-down menus and stuff like that. So what we're going to do today is carry on this series, and we're going to build this hero section here that comprises of a few different parts. So we've got this cutout section kind of here that's in front of this background image here, and then we've got some text and a button here. So nothing too difficult about this section, so this should be a fairly easy one today. So let's jump right in. So the first thing we need to do is to create this section here, which comprises of this cutout kind of image here. I've already kind of played around with this a little bit in this page here in Illustrator, and this is what I've come up with. So here's the artboard, here's what will actually be exported, and here is the curve here. So it doesn't have to be too precise here. What we want here is the right hand side, this little curve here that will show the background image, and I'm happy with that. So next I'm going to export it as an SVG, and let's pop into our folder. So I'll pop this into the images folder now, and I'll call it cut-out.svg. Let's bring that over a little bit there. Okay, so I will save this now. Save it as an SVG, that's fine, and then click OK. So I can get rid of this little page now. So this hero section is going to be placed underneath the header, and I'll create a section now called actually, I'll call it section ID, and I'll call this area hero area, and save that there, and that's showing fine. Okay. So now with our little section area here of our hero area, I'm going to go back into our style.css and probably update the table of contents first. I will create the section here for the footer first, and I'll call that global footer, which we'll create a little bit later in another video. So down again, I'll create a section here called probably 9 and call it hero area. And that will be kind of a block or a component. So I'll just stick that, I'll just prefix that with block. Okay, so that's number 9. Let's scroll down and create this area now and pop this down just here. Where are we? Down here. So again, I'm just going to copy and paste a comment area here and paste that in just like that. And I'll call this again block hero area, and that is an ID. So I'll say hero area, and again 1 pix solid red. So here we are here, and this is showing up fine. So first of all, I think I'm going to give it a height, and I'm going to say something like 500 pixels in height, which looks pretty decent. If we look at our Adobe Illustrator template file, it's probably a little bit less here, maybe 400, but 500 looks good to me, so I'm going to stick with that now. So 500 pixels in height, and I think all I need to do then is just give it a position of relative, because we will be having a few different bits and pieces inside, such as this content area, this cutout, and this background image. So we will be probably using position absolute. So thus the need for position relative in the main section. Okay, so with this area kind of created now, what I'm probably going to do is pop back into our index.html file. And first off, I'm going to add the background image, which is this kind of guy on his laptop here. So I've already got an image kind of sourced here via onsplash.com, and I'm just going to save this now. So save this. So now this image has been saved into the directory, and it's in the images folder. So here it is here. And then I'm just going to add it in as, get rid of that, get rid of that. So in our HTML file, I'm just going to add it in as an image, not a background image. So I'll just say image src is images / Tyler Franta so-and-so. So I'll do that, give it a little bit of alt text. Man working at his laptop, something like that. So save that. I can get rid of this page, this tab now. And here is the image, which is a little bit too big, but at least it displays fine. So now what we're going to do is to make this image 100% height of the parent, which is the hero section. So into our CSS we go, and I'll say something like hero area, image, indent that, and I'll say height is 100%, please. Save that, and that's looking a lot better. So I'm going to make this position absolute and push it to the right hand side here. So I'll say position absolute and right 0. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's exactly where we want it. I think that's it for the image tag for the moment. So I'd recommend we add this cutout section here, this blue section here, and we overlay it across the image. So let's do that now. So in our hero area section, I'm going to place this cutout area here just below this image. And I'll say it's called div ID is probably cut out, something like that. And let's see if that's showing. Yes, it is. Okay, so we have our section now for this little cutout area. Yep. Some text in there. Back into our style.css, I'll just create the area down here and I'll call this cut out. Actually, it's just cut out, no hyphen. Okay, so again, let's give it a little bit of a border here so we can see. Maybe this time we'll give it a blue border, which it is just there. Okay, and it shows up fine. So with our cutout area here and our image saved to the images directory, what we're going to do is just add this in as a background image. So I'll say background image, let me see, is URL, and that is in images. So I'll just say images / cutout, something like that. And actually, what I'm going to do is just combine all the background properties into one background shorthand CSS rule. So I'll say background URL cutout, and we want it to be positioned to the bottom, to the right hand side. And I'm going to say I want it to cover the parent area, the whole kind of hero area. And then I'll just say at the end, no repeat. Cross our fingers, and that looks pretty good. So it's showing up there fine. We just need to make it 100% height. So let's do that. Height 100%, save, and boom. Now, obviously, we need to kind of place this cutout area over the image here because currently it's behind it. So we can do that now. Let's first of all give it a position of relative. I think that should do it now. Yes. So that's kind of it. That was pretty easy. Looks pretty good. So something a little bit different, you know, nice two images kind of combined. We'll need to look into this later and kind of change the Z index of this header section, but it's not a big problem. But anyway, for the moment, let's carry on with this guy. So we have our background image here and we have this cutout area now. Let's add in the text, which is here. So we have a few different pieces of text here. So we have kind of a tagline here. We have a heading, some text, and then a link, kind of call to action, contact us link. So first off, I'm going to add in the tagline, which is global ambitions locally. Some marketing spiel there. So index.html, I'll add this in now. So I'll say something like, maybe it's just a paragraph tag. And I'll give it a class of tagline, global ambitions locally. Let's have a look at that real quick. There we go. I'll tell you what, I'll add in the text first and then we can kind of center it around and add a wrapper in. So next up, we need to add the heading in, which is welcome to Synergy Solutions. So I'll add this in now as a H1. Welcome to Synergy Solutions. Have a quick peek there. Okay. And then we need to add in the text, which is just lorem ipsum. So let me see. That'll just be a paragraph tag. So let me get some lorem ipsum now. Yes, and I'll just copy and paste some lines here. Let's see how that looks now. Probably a bit too much text, but we can always tweak it in a bit. Let's get rid of that there. Maybe that might be enough. Okay, so then we've got a link here. So kind of button that says contact us. And if we go back into our CSS real quick, we do have a class for that because we created that earlier on. So we have a class called btn and we'll just add this in now. So just down here, I'll say ahref equals contact us.html, and I'll say contact us. Now, if we look at this first, it's just a link. Then if we add the class for btn, save that, then we get this nice little link here. So I think that's okay. Oh, we do have an arrow here. We can add that in a little bit. So far we've got all of our kind of sections ticked off. We've got a tagline, our heading, paragraph, and button. And then we've got the cutout section and the background kind of image here. So now let's position these. Let's add a wrapper in to position these kind of in the center here. So into, where are we? Into the cutout area, I'll say add in a wrapper. And pop the ends down there, indent these guys, save that. Okay, get rid of Explorer so we have a bit more space to kind of read. Okay, so now we have the wrapper kind of sort here. Now I'd like to make all of this text, this kind of content area, if you will, centered via the y-axis. So into our Visual Studio editor we go again. And I think what we probably need to do is, again, add another div here underneath the wrapper, and we'll call it content-area. So now we have this content area here. So just to show you real quick. So we've got our cutout, we've got our wrapper that will constrain everything inside of our cutout area. Then we've got this content area here, and this will contain all of the text. So now what I want to do is to position everything kind of here centered. Only for the y-axis, not the x-axis, not like directly centered, just to the left here. Okay, and back into our CSS file, and I'll create a new class in our hero area. And I'll say something like hero area content area. And you guessed it, there will be a border again. So I can get rid of the hero area border for the moment, save that. Now we've got the border here. And then basically I'm just going to position it absolutely. Just like that. Save that. And then I'm going to use the transform property here. So I'll say transform, translate only the y-axis, and I'll say minus 50%. And give that a top of 50%. Save that, cross the fingers, and close. So it's moved, it's done something, but it's not fully working, as we can see here. So if we have a look in the inspector tools to find out why, we've got the content area here, which is top 50%, and then it kind of, the parent is the wrapper. So the wrapper doesn't seem to be doing a lot here. So what I probably need to do is give the wrapper a height of 100 pixels. I think I'll just do it here in the hero area and not globally. I'll say hero area dot wrapper and see if I add in 100% if that makes a difference, which I think it might. Yes. Okay, perfect. So now the wrapper here, if we have a look again, it looks like to be 100% of the parent, which is the hero area. So it's looking a lot better now. Okay, so let's start tweaking this text here and the width here, because we don't need this area here to be 100%. We kind of want it to be 50% or maybe less, 40%. So the content area should be probably, well, let's see what 50% looks like. Save that. That looks okay, I think. So I leave that 50% for the moment. So now we need to start playing around with these text items. So first up is the tagline, which is just called tagline. Okay, so I'll say p.tagline. Okay, so tagline, and I think that is 16 pixels already, so that should be fine. So let's start fine tuning these text items here. So we've got our tagline, and then let's give it a bit of breathing room. Let's say margin bottom. 1 rem is probably too much. Save that. Looks okay actually. So let's leave it there for the moment. Let's say 1 rem. And let's say the color, because in our Adobe Illustrator document here, it's a little bit lighter. So let's make that a little bit more transparent. So let's say something like opacity 0.8. Save that. Yeah, I think that's okay. Okay, so now we're at a point where we kind of need to start looking into the headings and the typography for the paragraphs and stuff like that. So instead of editing the heading here in our hero area, what I'm going to do is scroll back up to the top. You know, we probably need a section for typography, I think, just on its own, just to kind of make things a bit more clear in our CSS. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grid. What I'll probably do is a couple styles. I think after general, I'm going to actually add it in here. So I will say, that's number 3 now, and I will say typography. And then that can be number 4 and so on. And now with the table of contents reordered, what I'm going to do is just go down and kind of relabel these guys now. So 1 is reset, 2 is general, 3 is typography, and so on. So let me copy this here, reset, number 2, and then we'll slip this typography area in here. So typography, and this is number, is it 4? Number 3. Okay, and global styles is 4 and so on. So 4, 5, 6 for the grid, which is correct. 6, yes. 7 for the global bar. 7 there. 8 for the header. 9 for the block area. And actually, I think footer goes before that. Footer is 9. Okay, so let's add this in now. We will eventually get to this, but let's just pop in the placeholder now. Okay. And number 9 is the footer. And now the hero area is number 10. Yes. So reordered, and now we've got our little typography area here, which is number 3. So let's pop down now. So first in our little typography area, I'm going to say heading 1, heading 2, 3, 4, 5, and even 6. So then we're going to say margin bottom is going to be 1 rem or maybe 1.6 rem. So 16 pixels in total, something like that there. And then we're going to give it a color of our primary color, which is primary color. Save that. And that's fine there. These headings will primarily be used on light backgrounds. So for the moment, that's fine. We can tweak this heading shortly. But for the moment, let's carry on with our headings. So we have margin bottom, we have color, and then I'll say font weight will be 600. So quite heavy. And that will be kind of covering all the headings there in one rule. Now let's tweak the heading 1 on its own. So actually we do want to see this, I guess. So scroll down again to our heading area and let's just pop it in here first. So I'm going to say hero area H1 and I need to give this a color of white, which is correct. So now we should be able to see this in a moment. Let's see, heading 1, need an extra F there. Okay, so now we can actually see it. Pop back up, look for typography. Here we are here. Okay, so now we can give the heading 1 a font size of maybe 3.6 rem, which is 36 pixels. Save that. So I think that looks okay. And now what I'm going to do is copy and paste this heading a few times so it goes onto the second line. And then move this over a little bit. Give it a line height. Actually, I'll do it in the inspector panel here real quick. So I'll say line height is maybe 2 rem, 3 rem, 4 rem. I think that probably looks okay. 4 rem, maybe 4.2. So this is just a quick and dirty way to see what the line height should be by eyeballing it. And I think 4.2 looks okay for the moment. Maybe 4.4. So I'll save that there now. And now we have our line height and the font size for the heading. Well, for the heading 1. And now I can style the paragraph tag. So again, the paragraph tag is here and there's no styling associated with it. That's fine. So I'm going to say font size 1.6 rem, which it currently is. Maybe 1.8. 1.6 I think is okay for the moment. And again, just going to eyeball it. So I'm going to give it a line height of 3 rem, which is way too much. Let's bring that down to 2. Let's bring that up to 2.4. 2.4 looks okay. So I'll change that here to 2.4 rem. And again, I'm going to give this a margin bottom of 1.6 rem, the same as the headings. So I'll save that there. And now we're starting to look a lot better, I think. So we've got our tagline, we've got our heading. So we've got our paragraph here, which is our little description. And then we've got our button here. And now we probably just need to move this this button just down a little bit. So if we inspect this real quick, we've got a button here, which we don't actually have a display property on it. So back up we go to .btn, and we probably need to add that in actually. So I'm going to say display inline block. Save that. And there we go. Okay, and that pushes that down quite nicely. So we have our button here, our text, heading, and tagline. Now, again, we need to add this little arrow in here. So into our Visual Studio Editor, we're going to, again, look for the button area here, which is in Utility Classes. And what I'm going to do is create another class here, kind of a global class called... no, not there, here. So I'll say something like maybe button with arrow. Save that, give it a border. Index.html, look for that area there in our heading, in our hero area. And I'm going to give it another class called button with arrow. Save that. Now this is red, so it's connected up fine. And then get rid of that border now. So we can use the Themify library yet again. And if I search for this real quick, there we go, Themify icons. And if I search for an arrow, so we have this TI arrow here. Let's copy and paste the ASCII character, which is there. Okay. So the content is here. And in here, I'm going to say sudo. So we're going to give it a sudo before or, well, after, doesn't really matter. So let's say after and give it the content here. Make it absolute. I will give it a little border again. Save that real quick. Okay, so now we can see something happening here. We obviously need to give it a font family of themify again. And just like that, save that. So now we have our arrow in here. So whenever we add this button with arrow class to a button, then we get this arrow. We just need to clean it up a bit. First of all, let's tweak the parent class here. So button with arrow, get rid of the pseudo element here. And I'll say padding right. Let's see what we get with 3 rem. Maybe a bit more. Maybe 4.4. 4.4 rem. So that pushes that out here. So we have a bit of space now, which is great. And then arrow, because it's position absolute, we can say right, first of all, right 0. So it'll go right to the edge here. Oh, which it will not. So we need to add a position relative on the button class, which we obviously don't have, which is no problem. We can add it in now because we want the button with arrow class or the pseudo element to be positioned absolutely to the parent, which is the button tag, and that should have a property of position relative. So now that's working great. I just need to change the 0 value of the right property to, let's see, 1 rem. It's pretty spot on. So I will remove the border now, see what that actually looks like. And that looks pretty decent. The only thing with this is now, because the button here looks like it has a bit more breathing room. And here it's kind of, it's a little bit squashed in. So what actually padding have we got? We've got 1 rem, which is only 10 pixels. So let's add that while we're here in this area. I'm going to say 1.6 rem all the way around for the button. Yeah, just like that. And expand that a bit. I think that's looking pretty good. Oh, also, let me check here. This paragraph tag is, the color is gray. Do need to tweak that as well. Quite a few things to do here, but we're kind of fleshing things out as we move along. Okay, so the first thing now is to, let me see. Yeah, let's go back to the paragraph tag real quick. Because currently the whole page has a default color of gray here, CCC. Well, get rid of that for the moment. And first of all, give it a var property of body text. Save that. Okay. And now we go to the hero area. And again, we're going to go to the tagline. And actually, we need to remove this opacity rule here because it's not doing a lot. We need to give it a different color completely. So I'm going to say color is white, just like that. Use a little tool here built into Google Chrome. And I'm going to say, bring this opacity down a bit, just something like that. So now I can say the color is this new color here. And we obviously need to target this color here now as well. So let's add that in. So content area, just down here. So hero area P. So the description in our hero area will be white, color white. Save that. Okay. And our tagline is here. So that's getting overwritten with this color here. I can just say not class of tagline. Save that. And there we go. So now we can remove the border for the content area. And I can remove the border for the cutout area. Yeah. So now we have our hero area. If I kind of minimize the window a bit, we just need to kind of make it responsive and then we're done for the moment. So let's add in some media queries to our hero area to make it responsive. So scrolling back up, we're just going to copy and paste this media query here and paste it just down here underneath our hero area. Okay, so what do we want to do? Well, let's scroll in a bit here. Let's open up Inspector Tools. As we kind of minimize the viewport here, we're at 800. We're at 800 pixels, maybe 875. Maybe 850 pixels. This is the breakpoint we need. So I'm going to use that as a guide. So 850 pixels. Get rid of that. So I'm going to say, first off, I want to kind of play with this image here. I want this to be full width. So I will say hero area image. And currently it is, where is it there? Currently it's position absolute. So I'm going to change that to position relative and see what that does. Save that. Not a lot. So let's dig in why. So we have our image here. Oh, probably because we haven't gone down to viewport enough. Okay, so now we're at 850 pixels or less. Great. Now, as the image isn't that large, we're going to say make it a width of 100%. And as we can see there, it worked, but it did stretch the image. So I'm going to say the height is now auto. Save that. And there we are. So we've got an image here. We've got our main kind of area here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of stack these elements here for mobile. So our image is fine, I think. Yep. So that's responsive there down through the viewport. And now we need to look into this cutout area here. So we don't need this little cutout area here. So what I can probably do is change the background image to just like a solid background color. So I'll add this in now. And as we can see, we got background image cutout. I can just say background, which is background var, and I'll say background primary color. So same color, but it's full width. Okay, so we've got our main featured image here, and we've got our kind of content area down here, which is the way we want it. We want it stacked. I just need to kind of tweak these a little bit. So what have we got? We've got a content area which still has absolute position. We can remove that, but first, I think what I need to do is to remove the height here first. So in cutout, instead of 100%, we'll just say width is auto. Save that. Yep, that's good. So cutout is here, image is here. What I can do now is target the hero directly, and I'll give it a flex property. Display flex. Save that, which is, yep. So it's stacked here to the right hand side. But now what I can do is say, I want everything kind of stacked as a column. So flex direction column, copy that, paste that in here. Yep. Now let's tackle, let's see. Let's tackle the content area, which still has a position of absolute, which we do not need anymore. We only need that for desktop. So I can pop this just down here. So hero area, content area, and we'll say again, position relative. Let's get rid of all these values here as well, top and width. So top is auto, and width will be 100%. And get rid of the transform property too. So transform will be none. Save this now. And yeah, beautiful. So now we have stacked content of our main featured image and then this area down here. Now the last thing we need to do is just add some padding for the top and the bottom of this content area. So here we will say padding. Actually, let's see what we've got at the moment. No, because the wrapper is giving us the padding. That's fine. Okay, so we'll just say padding. There we go. So we'll say padding top, which is 1.5 rem. Let's just check that wrapper out real quick. So currently it's 15 pixels left and right, which is fine. Same thing, I'm just going to say padding 1.5 rem top, and the sides left and right are 0. So save that. And what do we get? Yeah, looks okay. I'm going to give it a bit more padding actually on the bottom, because I think that button is kind of skewing things a little bit. So the bottom, I'll say an extra 5 pixels. So I'll give that 2 rem. And I think that looks pretty good. So let's have a look now. So we've got desktop. And then as we minimize the window at the breakpoint of 850 pixels here, then it goes into mobile view. And I think that works quite nicely. So as we go here, all nice and readable. So we're looking pretty good there now. So now we have our hero area, another little section of our website kind of complete, and things are starting to flesh out quite nicely. If I check the inspector panel, I can see we've got header and then we've got hero here. So I'm guessing for header, all I probably need to do is give it a position of relative and give it a Z index value of 1. Now, if I scroll over the menu, it will show fine. So great. Let's add that actually into our CSS real quick. Okay, so let's copy and paste these values in now. And there we go. Save that, quick check again, and beautiful, all working great. So again, just to show you on desktop, we've got the hero area here. Then as we go into mobile view, then we have a nice little area here that shows the hero area in a more readable format for mobile devices. So that's it for today. We've got our hero area, we've got our header, and we've got our top bar. So they're all working in desktop and mobile view. So the next section looks like it's going to be, if I zoom out a bit here in the template file, looks like it's going to be this little services area here. So that's kind of it. Thanks very much again for watching. If you found value in this video and you'd like to support the channel, please do give me a like and a follow, and I'll be creating more videos very soon. Thanks very much, and catch you guys in the next one.